Andrew Harrison had everything money could buy. Luxury cars, a lakeside mansion, a successful business empire, and millions in the bank. But after a tragic car accident left him paralyzed from the waist down, his world fell apart. Once known for his confidence and sharp mind, Andrew became bitter and distant. He pushed everyone away, convinced that kindness only came with a paycheck. Over the past 2 years, he had fired more than 15 caregivers. Some couldn't handle his anger. Others simply gave up trying to help him. One rainy Monday morning, a new caregiver arrived at the mansion. Her name was Emily. She was calm, patient, and carried a quiet smile that somehow made the cold house feel warmer. Before meeting Andrew, the house manager warned her, "Don't expect to last more than a week." Emily simply smiled. "I'll treat him like a person, not a problem." When she entered Andrew's study, he didn't even look at her. So he muttered, "Another caregiver." "How long before you quit?" Emily replied gently. "I'm not here to prove anything. I'm here to help." Andrew rolled his eyes. "You leave like everyone else, maybe?" She answered, "But not before giving my best." Her words caught him off guard. Over the next few days, Andrew tested her patience. He refused meals, he complained about everything. He insulted her work, yet Emily never argued. She listened. She stayed calm, and every morning she greeted him with the same warm smile. One afternoon, Andrew noticed something unusual. Emily wasn't staring at his wheelchair. She looked him in the eyes when she spoke. For the first time in months, he felt seen, not pitied. Meanwhile, Andrew's 8-year-old son Noah watched everything from a distance. Since the accident, Noah barely spoke to his father. He believed Andrew no longer loved him because Andrew never smiled or played with him anymore. The little boy spent most of his time hugging an old teddy bear that had belonged to his late mother. Emily noticed his loneliness. Instead of forcing conversations, she invited Noah to help water the flowers in the garden. They baked cookies together. They read bedtime stories. Slowly, Noah began smiling again. One evening, Emily asked softly, "Would you like to show your dad the picture you drew?" Noah looked down. "He won't like it." Emily knelt beside him. "Sometimes people hide love behind pain." Those words stayed with Noah. The next morning, he nervously walked into Andrew's study carrying a folded drawing. Without saying anything, he placed it on Andrew's lap. It showed the three of them sitting beside a lake. Under a bright blue sky at the top were the words, "My family." Andrew stared at the drawing. His hands began shaking. For months, he had been so focused on what he had lost that he never realized what he still had. Tears filled his eyes. "Noah." The little boy looked frightened. "I'm sorry if it's bad." Andrew pulled him into the tightest hug he could manage. "It's the most beautiful gift I've ever received." Emily quietly stepped out of the room, allowing father and son to share the moment. Over the following weeks, everything changed. Andrew started attending physical therapy with determination. He began eating properly. He even laughed again. Every afternoon, he and Noah played chess together. The mansion that once echoed with silence slowly filled with laughter. One day, Andrew asked Emily, "Why didn't you quit?" She smiled. "My father spent 10 years in a wheelchair before he passed away." Andrew listened carefully. "People saw his disability." She continued, "I saw his courage. I promised myself I'd never stop seeing the person behind the pain." Andrew couldn't speak. Her kindness had healed wounds medicine never could. Months later, Andrew returned to leading his company online. Instead of expanding another business, he made a surprising announcement. He created the Harrison Hope Foundation, providing free home care, wheelchairs, rehabilitation, and emotional support for families who couldn't afford it. When reporters asked why he donated millions, Andrew answered with a smile, "I thought money was my greatest strength." He looked toward Emily and Noah. "But one person's kindness gave me something money never could hope." Emily never accepted special recognition. She continued caring for patients with the same humility she always had. Years later, thousands of families received help through the foundation. Many never knew the real story behind it. They only knew that somewhere, a stranger cared enough to give them another chance. And it all began with one nurse who refused to give up on a broken man. Because true kindness isn't about changing someone's circumstances overnight. It's about standing beside them long enough for them to believe in themselves again. Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't walking again. Sometimes it's learning to smile again. And that single act of compassion can change not only one life, but generations to come. Heart. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring kindness stories. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers so we can continue sharing stories that remind the world that kindness still exists. Remember, a small act of kindness today could become someone else's miracle tomorrow.